Hey there, I'm here at Caltech again, and I want to do a video to talk about my 5 reasons to take a gig. And they are, number 1, money, number 2, experience, number 3, connections, number 4, for friends, and number 5, for God or good causes. And so basically, you're trying to make a living, you got to take the money gigs. But that's pretty obvious. Things for money. And a money gig could also be a writing session where you're not getting paid, but you're going to get percentages of a song. And so you're taking risk, but it can be rewarded. It may not be, it can be. We'll talk about that in a future video. Secondly, experience. There have been many times I took jobs that I wasn't quite qualified for to get the experience, to get more experience on it. I'll give you an example. I had a friend that started a bluegrass group down in Orange County, and they already had 2 guitar players, a mandolin player, and a bass player. So the pressure was really off me. I played dobro and I played banjo, and neither one of those instruments at the time, I didn't have a whole lot of skills, but I figured that was a great way, doing like a 2 45-minute sets was a great way of kind of getting out in front of people and working on that skill. So it was a great opportunity to get experience. Other gigs that might be example of experience, working with someone, maybe an artist, to help them produce a track. So I actually look at that, working in my case with Logic and working with all the software and all the synthesizers and the samplers and all that stuff associated with that, learning all of those, that's a way to get experience. And it's maybe a reason to help someone out, and then you learn in the process. I definitely do that when I'm writing music for TV. I oftentimes will load in software that I've never used before, and I'll just say, okay, this song, I'm gonna create something using this software that I've never. Native Instruments, I have Contact Complete. There's a million things in there. I've gotten to use about 1% of it. So having an opportunity to open that stuff up and kind of work with it a little bit is a great way to get some experience, and then the end product can make you some money. So there's a couple examples. Connections. That's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, if you're going to take an opportunity, a gig, maybe a jam night or an open mic night at a club late at night where there's going to be a lot of musicians. If you're a guitar player, you want to meet bass players and drummers and keyboard players. If you're a keyboard player, you want to meet drummers, because those are the guys that are going to be putting together bands and they may call you, or they're putting together sessions and they may call you. And so it's a good way. And a lot of times there'll be people in the audience, like producers and stuff like that, that are looking for players. So those are good opportunities to make connections. Another thing I've noticed is when I work at my studio, it's super convenient. I have all my guitars, everything I need is right there. However, if I go into a studio, if I get called into a studio, 9 times out of 10 I'm meeting somebody new. And half the time when I meet somebody new, they call me for something else. So I always like to go into the studio, even if it may not be convenient. I have to fight an hour of traffic and I may not have all my instruments with me. But boy, it's always really good because I get to renew friendships, people I don't necessarily see as often as I'd like, and I get to meet new people. And then let's see. So we got money, experience, connections, friends. Obviously, you can do stuff for friends. You can't exclude money gigs for all the other stuff because you got to pay the bills. But I do a lot of stuff for friends. They do stuff for me. We kind of take turns. You can always return favors and give favors and stuff like that, and it's always good to do it. And I'll tell you, those can also lead to a lot of other things. I'll talk about that in a second. And then the last one is for God or for good causes, like the Strahle Foundation. I work a lot at churches, and it's a lot of times I'm getting paid, a lot of times I'm volunteering. So it's kind of a 50-50 proposition there. But those are opportunities where you're giving back to the community. You're using the talent that I believe God gave you to give back. And so I think those are good things, good causes. I've played guitar at different functions. Classical guitar, sat there and played for different functions, raising money for something that I felt like was very important. And here's the thing, oftentimes gigs, in fact most of the time gigs will have 2 or more of those factors involved. You may get paid and you may be getting experience. You may get paid and you may be getting connections. You may be paid and it may be with friends. Like I gave you the example of the bluegrass band. That was with all friends, so it was a phenomenally fun hang. And then I was also at the same time getting to work on my banjo playing and my dobro playing. And then you know, oftentimes you'll do a gig for experience, but in the back end you'll be making a lot of money off of it. You could be doing something for church, like oftentimes I'm you know, getting paid at church, and I'm meeting people all the time. When I started going to my church that I go to now 15 years ago, I met all sorts of people because it was in a whole new area that I hadn't really worked much in North Valley of Los Angeles. So I met a lot of people through that, and it was great. So and I also got a lot of experience. It's always good to get up in front of people, and you have your pedals and you're working out your sounds and all that stuff. That's all, you know, that's all good time spent. So 5 reasons to take a gig. Number 1, money. Number 2, experience. Number 3, connections. Number 4, for friends. And number 5, for God or for a good cause, a God cause or a good cause. And so I hope this helps. This is important stuff because it will help you kind of weed out gigs that don't have any of those. There are gigs that don't have any of those opportunities, no reason at all to really take those. And basically those 5 reasons encompass, you know, can absorb almost every gig. There are very few gigs I turn down because they don't meet that criteria. I may turn them down because I don't have time, or other reasons, but that's definitely, most gigs fall into one of these 5 categories, and like I said, many of them could be 3 or 4 or 5 of them, okay? God bless you guys, I'll talk to you soon, bye-bye.